Hello students, welcome to the Samveda e-learning classes. Dear students, today we are going to study Social Science 9th Standard Political Science Division Chapter 2, the Union Government Part 2. My dear students, Part 1, the Union Government, we discussed about the Union Legislature, how the Union Legislature, how the Union Parliament is formed, and what are the various powers and functions of the Union Parliament? We studied about that in the previous class. And dear students, in the today's class, we are going to learn the Union Executive. The Union Executive, here the main parts of the Union Executive, the election of the President of India, what are the qualifications required to become the President of India, and also the most important position of the executive, the Prime Minister. We also learn about the Prime Minister and his functions in the today's class. Dear students, the Union Executive, it is an organization which has a hierarchical structure. The Union Executive is headed by the President of India, followed by the President, the Vice President of India, and the Prime Minister, followed by the Prime Minister, the Council of Ministers, and then Attorney General of India. They are all the main components of the Union Executive students. So, Union Executive study is nothing but the study of all these positions in the government. Dear students, in the previous class, we have discussed the role of the legislature and executive as well as the judiciary. As we already learned, all these organs of the constitution work independently. Legislature makes the laws. Executive organ here, it implements the laws made by the Union Parliament, and also it tries to implement all the programs and policies of the Union government students. So therefore, the role of the Union Executive is very important. The Union Executive, as I told you, it consisted the President, the Prime Minister, and the Council of Ministers students. The President is called the head of the Union Executive. President, he is the constitutional head of the country, students. And also he is called the nominal head of the country. The reason, the real powers in the country lies with the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers, but constitutionally the highest reputation is given to the President of India, students. Dear students, in the Constitution of India, according to Article 52, it said very clearly, there must be the post of the President of India. The President of India is the constitutional head of the country. As I told you, he is called the first citizen in the country, students. He has given highest reputation in the country. He plays very important role in the country's administration, students. He is the head of commander-in-chief of all the three armed forces of India, such as Army, Navy, and the Air Force. And more than that, he enjoys the highest position in the country, being the custodian of the Constitution as well as the custodian of all executive powers of the nation. And no court of law can question his conduct or prosecute President. Dear students, according to the Article 54 and 55 of the Indian Constitution, it stipulated very clearly the President, how he should be elected in this country. The election, the proceedings of the President of India, how it should be taken in the country. The President of India, students, he is elected by an electoral college which comprised the elected members of the both houses of the Parliament and all elected members of the legislative assemblies of all the states of India. Together it is called an electoral college. electoral college is going to elect the President of India, students. One important point about the president election of the country, students. The President of India election takes indirect election method. It is called indirect election method. He is not directly elected by the people, but he is indirectly elected by the people. How? How is it possible? Yes. The people of India are electing the members of parliament as well as the members of the state legislative assemblies, a direct election. And all those elected members will be voting for the President of India. So therefore, this election method is called indirect election. Followed by that, once the President is elected, who gives oath to the President of India? The Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court will be administering the oath to the President of India, students. And what is the term of the President of India? How many years he can be in his position? The President will remain in his position till he completes his term. The term of the President here, 5 years, students. And the President can be re-elected once again after the first term of the presidency. When he goes against the constitution, when he does not follow the constitutional provisions here, President can also be removed by his position by passing an impeachment motion in the parliament by the members of the parliament, students. And then, what are the qualifications to become the President of India? Who can become the President here? Of course, there are some important qualifications. He or she must have these qualities to become the President of India, students. What are those? The major qualification, he or she should be a citizen of India, students. And the second qualification, very important qualification it's about the age. He or she should have completed the age of 35 years. And the third qualification, he or she should be qualified for election as a member of the Lok Sabha. This is a very important quality, students. Very important qualification it is. He or she should have all the qualifications which a member of parliament will be required. But he or she should not be a member of the parliament here. Being in the membership of the parliament, he or she cannot contest the election of the president. In case if they want to contest the election of the president, they have to resign well in advance and contest the election of the President of India. The point is very clear, students. They should have all the qualifications which an MP will be having. But they are not MPs. Very important it is. After that, students, he should not hold any office of profit under the government. He or she will not be working under the public services, students, either the state government or the central government. Simultaneously, they are not allowed to be contesting in the election. In case if they are civil servants and even though they wanted to contest the election of the president here, they had to resign to their positions and they can file the nomination to the position of the President of India, students. So that is how the procedure goes. Dear students, you can look at the screen here. The sitting president image is given here. The prime minister and his cabinet image is also shown here. Dear students, the President of India, he enjoys some powers and functions. Among the various powers and functions of the President, the first power here, executive powers. What are the executive powers of the President of India then? All the administration is carried out in the name of the President. And the President appoints the Prime Minister, and on his recommendation, he also appoints the other ministers for the government of India. So this is the main responsibility of the President of India, students. Apart from that, the President will also appoint some important key positions of the government. For example, the Attorney General of Government of India appointed by the President of India, Comptroller and Auditor General of India appointed by the President, Judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court are appointed by the President. Governors of all the states are appointed by the President. Chairman and the Vice Chairmen of the various committees are appointed by the President here, especially Chairman and members of the Finance Commission, Chairman and members of the UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, Election Commissioners, Commanders-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of India are all appointed by the President. Even he will also appoint the ambassadors to the different countries who are representing India. Dear students, these are all the key positions where the President is appointing to the government positions. Followed by the executive powers, legislative powers of the President of India, students. What is the legislative power of the President of India? Dear students, the President has the power to summon the Parliament or postpone its sessions. Dear students, you must be aware of the Parliament will meet 3 times in a year. Winter session and the summer session and the rainy session. The 3 sessions of the Parliament will be held, giving a call to all the parliamentarians to join the Parliament session here. It is the duty of the President. The President will be summoning the letters to all the parliamentarians. And also, if there is a lack of the minimum strength in the Parliament, in the houses, lack of the quorum, we say, minimum strength required to conduct the Parliament proceedings here, or emergency, any emergency in case of death of any leader or any other emergency here, the President has the power here to postpone the Parliament sessions. Apart from that, he may also address a joint sitting of both houses or dissolve the Lok Sabha. Dear students, sometimes the President will address the joint sitting of Parliament, meaning here 2 houses of the Parliament will be joining in Lok Sabha, and it is presided by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. During that position, the President may address to the both houses of the Parliament members here. And apart from this, there is also one more important legislative power with the President of India here, that is dissolving the Lok Sabha. In case in the Lok Sabha there is no majority, the confidence of the ruling party has not proven here, the President has the power to dissolve the union government. So this is the legislative power of the President of India, students. Continued that a bill passed by both the houses of the Parliament, it becomes an act only after the approval of the President of India. Any bill it is, either it is an ordinary bill or a money bill in the Parliament, students, once the bill has to be passed here, President assent is very important for the approval of the bill finally. The President may either re-examine such bills. See, sometimes the President, he has the power here. He may send back the bill to the same houses for some reconsideration, or to make some changes, he can hold them for some times. Along with that, the President has the power of nominating the members to the Parliament here. As we already discussed, students, the President of India, he will be nominating 2 members to Lok Sabha and 12 members to Rajya Sabha. That power is with the President of India, students. And in all these functions, he acts upon the recommendations of the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. Dear students, the third power and function of the President of India, that is judicial powers. Concerning to the judicial system, what does the President of India enjoy? What power the President of India has here? The President has the power to reduce the term of imprisonment of the criminals and to cancel the capital punishment. So the punishments can be reduced here. Punishments can be given some concessions here. But there is a cause in that. If the President wants to take any help from the judicial structure here, he is very free to ask his suggestions to the judiciary system of India. Followed by the judicial powers, financial powers of the President of India, students. Dear students, you can observe here Union Budget 2021-22 presented by the Finance Minister of the Government of India, Nirmala Sitharaman. All the financial powers, everything is consented by the President of India, students. For example, a finance bill cannot be introduced in the Lok Sabha without the permission of the President here. President approval is very important in this. It is only after the President grants permission, that the reports of the Finance Commission and the Comptroller and Auditor General are discussed in the Parliament. Along with that, he also enjoys the military powers, the President. What are the military powers? Look at here. The President of India is called the Commander-in-Chief of all the armed forces of India. And also, he recruits, appoints the heads of all the army wings of India. The chiefs of the army and the navy and the air force are appointed by the President of India on the recommendation of the Union Cabinet. He also declares war and peace on the recommendation of the Union Parliament. So these are military powers of the President of India, students. Dear students, apart from the military powers, he also has some emergency powers. The President has been assured some emergency powers in the Constitution. What are those? The President, he has the powers to declare emergency in unnatural situation. Yes, if the situation comes very worsen there in the country, any type of the situation it is, political anarchy or any type of the economic crisis of the country here or any aggression in the country, so all that the President has the power to declare the emergencies. There are different emergencies, students. These emergencies are explained from Article 352 to Article 360 under the 18th part of the Indian Constitution. This concept is borrowed from Government of India Act 1935, students. The effects of the emergency on the fundamental rights and their management is borrowed from the Constitution of Germany. Especially the emergency concept we have borrowed from the Germany Constitution, students. And in that we have three types of the emergency. In three types of the emergency also, how a country should act, it is discussed under the Article 352 to 360. So based on these kind of the recommendations of the Union Cabinet, the President can declare the national emergency in the country, students. So emergencies, I said, there are three types of the emergencies. What are the three types of the emergencies here? National emergency, which comes under the Article 352. In a country, national emergency can be declared here. There will be a reason, students. National emergency can be declared by the President of India with the consent of the Union Cabinet here in some situations due to the foreign aggression or, as I told you, the interior political anarchy in the country. So that moment the President can declare the national emergency under the Article 352. Followed by that, state emergency. Dear students, in the states of India, there are state governments functioning. Under the Article 356, state emergency can be declared by the President here. Again, the reason is very important here in the state due to the breakdown of the Indian constitutional machinery in the state. It can be declared here. And finally, financial emergency. So when there is an economic crisis in the country, the economy of the country has completely ruined here, the President of India has the power to declare economic emergency in the country under the Article 360. But dear students, so far financial emergency has not declared in the history. We have the experience of the national emergency and we have already learnt about the state emergencies and all, but the financial emergency has not imposed till today after independence. At last, we have some discretionary powers of the President of India, students. What are discretionary powers? Special powers given to the President. So, among the various special powers here, the first one, the President can exercise certain powers without waiting for the approval of the Union Cabinet here. So, what are the discretionary powers? He may invite the leader of any of the party to form the government when there is no single political party gets the majority immediately after the general elections. It is left to the decision of the President of India, students. He can call anybody. Even a non-member of the parliament also can be invited here to become the Prime Minister of the country. He can ask him to form the government. This power is given to the President. This is called discretionary power of the President. And second, when the parliament approves a bill and sends it to him for approval, he may return the bill, or sometimes for reconsideration, he may advise some changes in the bill. That is again the President power. And also, he may dissolve the Lok Sabha. Yes, students, as I told you here, dissolving the Lok Sabha is the special power of the President of India, but there must be some proper reasons for the dissolving the government here. For example, as I told you, lack of the confidence, the government has to be dissolved, so that President has this kind of the work. My dear students, in this image you are able to see all the presidents of India, right from the first President Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad, second President Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, and the third Dr. Zakir Hussain, fourth one Shri Varahagiri Venkatagiri, and next we have Dr. Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed and Shri Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy, Gyani Jail Singh, Shri R. Venkatramanan, Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, Shri K.R. Narayana, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Srimati Pratibha Devi Singh Patil, the first women president of India. After that, we had Pranab Mukherjee, 13th president of India. Now we have the 14th president of India, none other than Ramnath Kovind. This is all about the President of India, students. Followed by the President, even the Vice President position is there. In the absence of the President, the Vice President will play a very important role in the administration of the country. Dear students, we have one of the very important position in the government of India, Prime Minister of the country. The real power of the country lies with the Prime Minister and the Cabinet, as I told you. Constitution has provided for a Council of Ministers with the Prime Minister at its head to assist and advise the President in the administration of the country. The Prime Minister has the real power to carry out the administration. The President is the head of the country, whereas the Prime Minister is the head of the government. He remains in office as long as he enjoys the trust of the Lok Sabha. The moment the Lok Sabha loses the trust here, and he will have to resign to his position. Dear students, right now we have our present Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi here. What are the different powers and functions of the Prime Minister of India, students? Prime Minister has various powers and functions. First, relating to appointment and removal of ministers and allocation of the portfolios of the government of India, the Prime Minister plays a very important role. The Prime Minister recommends to the President of India to appointment of ministers to the Council of Ministers. And the Prime Minister is the one who is allocating the various portfolios among the ministers, who should be heading which ministry. It is the authority to given to the Prime Minister of India. His decision is final in this allocation of portfolio. And other than that, the Prime Minister is head of the government, students. He is responsible for all the actions of the government. And the entire union government is answerable to the country, headed by the Prime Minister. So Prime Minister role is very important in the country. He coordinates the activities of various ministers in the government, and he takes the greater decisions, he takes the greater interest in framing policies related to the planning and defense and foreign affairs ministry of India. And all the meetings of the Union Cabinet are held under the presidentship of the Prime Minister of India. All the discussions of the government, all the discussions of various issues of the national and international importance are discussed, and decisions are taken under the chairmanship of Prime Minister of India. And more than that, Prime Minister acts like a bridge between the two places, meaning he is the link between the president and the cabinet. The Union Cabinet. Union Cabinet has the highest responsibility, students. The cabinet is the real executive and has ministers in two hierarchies. There are two types of the ministries and the ministers, students. The first one is the cabinet level and the second one is the ministers of state. Dear students, so far number of prime ministers ruled India, administered India. Who are those? Right from the first prime minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Lal Bahadur Shastri, Srimati Indira Gandhi, Morarji Desai, Chaudhary Charan Singh, Rajiv Gandhi, VP Singh, PV Narasimha Rao, HD Devegowda, I.K. Gujral, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Manmohan Singh, and the present Prime Minister Narendra Modi. These are all the prime ministers, the famous prime ministers of the country. And the Union Cabinet, what is the strength of the Union Cabinet? The strength of the Union Cabinet is, it should be 15% of the total strength of the Parliament. And followed by that, Cabinet has two kinds of the responsibilities. The minister of every department is responsible for the administration of his department. He has individually responsibility for the success or the failure of his department, as well as collective responsibility. All of them are responsible in the government, including the Prime Minister. The Union Cabinet has a collective responsibility to the Parliament with regard to the decisions and the policies taken by Cabinet. So therefore, Cabinet can be in power as long as the Lok Sabha has the trust. The moment they lose the trust here, it is removed by no confidence motion. My dear students, so in the today's class, we have learned the Union Executive. In the Union Executive, we have learned the election of the President of India and what are the qualifications to become the President of India. Apart from that, we also learned the Prime Minister and his functions. Dear students, let us have a glance on the textbook exercise. Fill in the blanks with the suitable words. India is a dash country. India is a sovereign country. Students, the Union Legislature is called Parliament. The Speaker of Rajya Sabha is Vice President of India. The minimum age to become the member of the Lok Sabha is 25 years, students. The Commander-in-Chief of all the three armed forces of India, the President of India, students. And the election of the President of India is explained in the Article 54 and 55 of the Indian Constitution, students. The Chairman of the Union Public Service Commission is appointed by the President of India. Apart from that, dear students, here are some important questions. I hope you will be able to answer all these questions. Write a note on the Houses of Parliament. So the two Houses of Parliament, students. Write a short note on the structure of Rajya Sabha. What are the qualifications needed to become a member of Lok Sabha? Explain the election process for the post of the President and also list out the powers of the Prime Minister. Write a note on the formation of Union Cabinet and its responsibilities. Dear students, I am Hemant V. Dalavai, who has been working as a resource person for the social science subject. And also, I work as an assistant master in the New Cambridge Group of Institutions, Vijayanagara, Bengaluru. Thank you, student.